Hello and welcome Team Simba and friends. Thank you for joining tonight. Purpose of tonight's Zoom is to give you an overview of our compound sheet. And this compound sheet is a fantastic tool that was actually shared with us originally from our GoPay set leader, Michael Phelps. And what we've done is I've made a couple of additions to it. I'm building a strategy of building out a legacy and working on how to plan and what it takes to build yourself into generational wealth. And we really utilize these sheets to build that roadmap. You know, we need a couple of tools to one, build the roadmap, and also to be able to see and believe before seeing the actual results and what actions are going to be required to reach these results. Okay. And something I've known, but it really takes also from something Dr. Anna Becker has shared with us is time increases the probability of success. If you're looking at something on a very short period of time, you're adding a high risk. You're adding a higher chance of failure with limited time. And realistically, legacies and generational wealth are not built in a flash. They're not built overnight. They're not built in 12 months. It takes time. And from what we're finding is a magic number of time is a 5-year momentum cycle and then building it into my second phase of 6 to 10 years to be realistic. And the way I'm illustrating this is just for illustration purposes. And again, all the information I share with you tonight is just information of how I'm doing things. It's not financial advice. It's not tax advice. It's not giving you a trading plan or an investment plan. It's just sharing with you some information I have for you to have the ability to make your own decisions and to go do your own due diligence. So please understand that. Now, I'm breaking myself down for myself, and then also a lot of people within the communities that I'm working with is like this. We have this first stage, what I like to call the momentum. You're building momentum this first, you're starting, and then you're building years 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And a lot of what I'm trying to help, outside of myself is people in these frontier nations, right? A lot of our communities and our brothers and sisters in places such as Africa, South America, and other frontier nations around the world that need a breakthrough financial opportunity. They need to break that economic divide. They need to have the ability to be able to break out for their families and their own communities. And we also realize within those frontier nations, and even in amongst ourselves, the times that we're going through right now, having those extra funds available for contributions right now is quite tough. And what I found by being able to utilize this sheet, that even just starting with the introductory tier levels has a major, major impact. As long as you stay consistent and you make consistent monthly contributions and you stay disciplined of not withdrawing, you're giving it the time to build the momentum and you're giving it the time to compound, and you're being disciplined to wait out your momentum building stage before converting it into a cash flowing asset, really plays a major part of having that success through these stages. Okay. And we'll break that down once we get to the sheets. So during this momentum stage, years 1 through 3, it's just consistent monthly contributions. No money being withdrawn for cash flow. It's just additions to the balance, okay? It's very, very important. If you're able to stay disciplined and stay committed during those first 3 years, then you're going to reach this next stage of this legacy building, okay? This next stage is years 4 through 5, okay? Years 4 through 5, some magical stuff has happened. You've built up you've been building up your contributions. They do not stop, but you've been able to build up your contributions. You've been able to build up momentum. You've given it time, and you've given it compounding. Now you're able to continue building, but you're actually able to now have a cash flow asset, okay? You'll be able to start taking out monthly cash flow withdrawals. During this period, no cash flow withdrawals. The only withdrawals are going to come from the Indotex performance automatic fee, the fee that comes out week 26 and 52. That's it. Otherwise, it's just building it. Here is cash flow and build. Once you pass year 5 and you're moving into year 6, this is where you actually have reached the stage of legacy and generation. This is, once you've reached this stage, it's a whole, I don't want to say a whole different plan, but there's a lot of different things that will come into your life when you reach this stage. Okay? This is what I call, now you're moving into your preserving wealth while you're building it. It's an entirely, this stage over here, you reach this stage, you stay disciplined and committed, and you reach this stage over here, you just change the history for your family for generations, okay? This is a really big, big, big stage to be moving into, okay? So first 3 years, momentum, moves into 2 years of cash flow and preparing for legacy. This is where you gotta be preparing to be able to have all this wealth. And then when you move over here, we're moving into preservation and then continue building, okay? So let's go jump on the other thing I wanted to mention here too is, and Michael, our Gold Pay Slide leader, one of his videos a while back, he's mentioned this, and it's very true. To do this, there's really, there's 2 main ways, right? One way, you have a large sum of funds that you can contribute into your tiers straight away. Okay, and we'll look at the benefit of that, and we'll look at what that looks like. Now, the second way is you're going to have to start with small funds, which again is okay. And I'm here to tell you, really phenomenal things are going to happen in the course of from the time you start and you give yourself that 5 years. Wonderful things are going to come to start. Okay. Now, I even look at it in a third way, is even if you've got the large funds, you still make monthly contributions, depending upon how much you do put in. But we're either going to start with large funds, and there's some benefits of doing that. If you're able to straight away, you're actually, I'll show you how, when you're really large funds, you can actually turn this into cash flowing assets straight away. Or you're going to start off small, but you're going to have to make monthly contributions. You're going to be very disciplined, and you're going to make monthly contributions every single month. Okay? Those are the 2 ways we're going to take a look at it. All right. So now we're over to the sheet, and like I say, it's Michael's sheet with just some additions that I've made to it. Helps me for easily being able to put in the monthly contributions automatically for every month for the next 5 years. Actually, I have it built out for 6 years, but we're going to concentrate on the first 5 years for tonight. And then also where I can start taking out monthly cash flow at what stages I have built in here, okay? So over here is, if you have this sheet, these are areas that you put the number in yourself. We're going to start a little lower. We're performing a little better than 4.4 a week right now with the Forex AI, but I'm going to utilize, we're compounding, we're earning 4.4% a week in increase. And like I say, we're going to start this first phase for individuals that are actually able to make a large contribution up front, okay? Big benefit with that is, one, you're going to get equity. The higher tier levels, remember the tier levels determines your equity shares, but the bigger the contributions, the bigger amount of equity shares you're going to receive. So that is a very big benefit. That is something that, again, you have to believe before you see. You have to believe that's going to have a high value to it, and it will. It's just we don't know when that date's going to be. Maybe it is in 2023 after the market's correct. We don't know yet, but whatever period that is, there's a really big reward coming from us. Also, for those of us that, hey, you know what? Let it grow. Maybe I'm looking at that equity 10 years from now. Let it grow. I mean, if you bought Amazon and was looking to offload Amazon within the first few years of Amazon's development, you would have lost a lot of money. It took decades for Amazon to reach the levels that it's at now. Now, you bought a few shares of Amazon in the very beginning, just a small amount of shares, you would have built massive wealth. So keep that in mind. Believe before you see with the equity. The other thing is, too, is when you have more funds in straight away, it's going to grow faster. It's a bigger amount to compound. It's a bigger amount that's gaining interest on it. So, of course, it's going to grow bigger, and it's going to grow faster. Is another benefit. A third benefit is, because you have a large amount of money in up front, you'll be able to start cash flowing that asset earlier, especially the really big contributions. Some people may look at this, and this is kind of a way that I look at it, is making that big investments almost similar to like investing into your own small business or a rental property, something that you're looking, that you're wanting is to generate income for you more quickly. Well, when you're making those types of investments or contributions, typically you're looking at people that are putting $50, $100 plus $1,000 into those types of contributions or investments. They realize it's a large capital to gain access to stuff like that, right? So where I'm going to start off here is say a tier 10. So the amount of money that comes in for trading is roughly $71,550, $71,550 that will come in. So this is where you put in your contribution number that actually goes into the trading, right? For Indotech to be testing the Forex. This is your contribution to the testing of the AI trading. The other thing that I recommend people to do is be very accurate on their start date. Okay. We're going to put November 1st as if you're just getting ready, you're planning out your legacy building, or you're a new member that's getting ready to contribute, and we're just planning on a start date of November 1st. It's very important to know this because it's how we track this over here. This number will auto-populate and track us for our journey to the 5 years, and even in my case and a lot of others, taking me to my 10 years. But it's very important to have this number here if you're doing this as a real plan, right? Okay. So here's where we would take a look and say, wow, you know what? I've made my large contribution. Michael did a really nice job here where he created this, I call it a key. It auto-populates the bigger numbers right here, so we don't have to go through the entire sheet to find these. So 71,000, you'll see how it grows. And even $71,550, it's a lot like that snowball chart that diagram that I created, right? These are big numbers, but you see it builds, it's nice, but it's not quite that big yet, relative. And then building, and then all of a sudden the mass, once you pass into this 3 years, 4 years, it really multiplies, especially when you get down here 4 and 5. Massive, right? This is the magic, where the real big magic happens. Okay. So someone that's able to do this straight away, based on the results that we're getting, and based on the stress test video that I shared with everyone earlier, the likelihood of this happening is very high, to where, look, 5 years from now, this $71,550 can grow to almost 700,000, no, not thousand, $700 million. We're just shy. It's amazing. Just this portion right here. But let's say this person says, you know what? I need the benefit of cash flow. Well, this is actually someone that could take advantage of cash flow rather quickly. So that's where we come over here and we can put in some data. I'm using a percentage. We have some others. I'm going to build another sheet here in the future that will use straight dollars, where you can determine whether it's a dollar amount you want coming out or it's a percentage of your running balance that you want coming out. Right now, I've got a percentage. Okay. So you give it a little bit of time. The first couple of weeks get skipped, but now you've picked up the momentum, and every month you're starting to see cash flow. And every month, every week, your balance keeps growing. So not only are you growing your long-term wealth, but you're actually being able to cash flow monthly within your first year. Actually, within the first couple of weeks, you can start cash flowing this. And it really grows quite quickly. I mean, here we are halfway through 2 years, and you're already cash flowing over $20,000 a month while you're growing your balance. Okay. Performance fees are all coming out. These are automatically coming out every 26th week and every 52 week. The performance fees are automatically withdrawn. So everything's calculating out. Your cash flow withdrawals are being pulled out. The performance fees are being pulled out. The fees for your withdrawal, your cash flow withdrawals everything's being calculated and running. Okay. You're reaching here with this bigger amount in. I mean, you're coming into year 4. You're over 3 million, you're almost $4 million. You're transitioning into $4 million. And your cash flow, I'll have to go back and, now we got to go back and put in, you want cash flow in years 4 through 5 as well. Okay. I mean, look at this cash flow. It's staggering. You're coming into 4 years, and your cash flow is $300,000 plus a month while you're still building. I mean, it just really is something spectacular. You just got to give it one, believe before you see. Two, do your due diligence, make your own decisions. Three, take action. And four, be disciplined and mature in how you build this, right? Okay. There's a select few that's going to be able to do these numbers. The very fortunate people that are able to be able to come in this big, right? And something, when I started building this sheet, what I had in mind is they talk a lot about in Daisy, you can start with as little as $100 contribution. And in the beginning, I used to look at that like, man, what are you going to do with $100? I kind of looked at it that way. And I was like, so one day I sat down with this and I sat down with my thought of doing the monthly contributions. I said, well, what could that $100 tier level really do? Because $50 of that, 50% is going to come towards trading. And I took a look at that because, I have a desire to be able to help within frontier nations. And those frontier nations are places like our brothers and sisters in Africa. Also, I look into like South America and these other frontier nations where even $100 is quite a large sum. And in these economic times right now, $100 for family members, even in monetized countries around the world, is a lot to squeeze out right now when people are struggling to even put food on the table, pay for gas, pay for electricity. It's financial times are hard right now for everybody, but even in our frontier nations especially. So I dug into this strategy, and it really stems from the thought of people that pay towards their pension plans. Because that's the other thing I was looking at too. I was like, wow, in this bear cycle, we're going on a year of a bear market, and the pension plans are just wiped out. I mean, it's now become public that in the UK and England, their national pension plan of $1.5 trillion was on the brink of collapse the last half of September and coming into October. It had to be rescued from the Bank of England. Not financial advice. None of what we're sharing today is financial advice, but it's just data that I've researched and I have found, and I'm just sharing it with you. But if you were someone that was needing to retire this year or next year, your pension plans are really a wreck right now. It's going to take time to recover that. It may defer you to being able to retire. And I'm seeing the results with the Indotech Forex of being 235% profit in this same time. So I'm looking at like, wow, this could really be like a hybrid pension plan type of model. It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid fund. It's different. It's what Dr. Anna Bechter is talking about. She wants to develop breakthrough financial freedoms. We need to have that change, and I think they're figuring it out. We're on the brink of history of changing. So here's how I'm breaking this down. So you start off, you do your tier 1 contribution, right? But you got to do it every single month. Absolutely. Without fail, you're going to have to make this monthly contribution. The other thing is too, this is not cash flow for the first 3 years. There's no cash flow coming from it. It's straight contribution and performance fee withdrawal. That's it. But every single month, you have to make these contributions. Okay. And that's going to show up right here. We're going to do $50, $100 comes into the tier, $50 every month comes into your trading. And you'll see it right here. It's going to come down all the way down. Let me freeze this screen. Let's freeze this. It's okay. I don't want to do too much. But you'll see every single month for 5 years, your monthly contributions coming in. Okay. Now, at some point, you're going to want some reward. At some point, this could be for those well, for every individual, but can you imagine, especially in our frontier nations, being so disciplined that by year 4, they're now being able to cash flow. Their first cycle is 2762. I think in a lot of our frontier nations, that's going to be a very nice monthly income. And this just keeps building. As their balance builds, this builds as well. I mean, they get a point towards the end of 4 years that they're earning cash flowing over almost $8,000. They're between $7,800 to $8,000, over $8,000 towards the end of year 4. I mean, this in our developed nations is good income. Michael talks about being able to cash flow $10,000 a month, puts you in a high society most places around the world. I mean, this gives you a very nice living pretty much anywhere around the world. And it starts with $100 a month contribution, disciplined every single month for a period of time. It's all relative to the time. That's all it is. Okay. So by the end of their 5 years, they've been able to generate this into a cash flowing asset, and they're reaching an ending balance of $1 million with $100 contributions. That is to me, that's magical. I mean, that's really fantastic. Now, you know, I don't want to say play around, but I mean, there's different levels that people are able to work this. We have people that are doing $150 contributions. They're starting off with their tier, and then every single month they're doing the same tier. We're treating this like a hybrid fund. It's a hybrid pension fund. It's whatever you want to call it. It's just a hybrid. It's outperforming anything else that I've seen in the global financial markets. So this person or people that's able to do this level, look what they're able to start doing in 4 years. Okay. But every month they're making that monthly contribution. They come to 4 years. If you've got these sheets, this is just how I'm investigating it. I'm giving it a 3-year momentum, and I'm at that 5%. Other people can do their due diligence and work this maybe how they would like to do it. Maybe they want more, right? Maybe they say, you know what, I want to cash flow more. I've even have taken this through due diligence to 15%. Now, what happens is you're rewarded more up front. You get more cash flow, of course, up front, but it slows you down with your overall growth. For me, I'd like to have some cash flow, but my primary goal is to build massive growth. Okay. But this is what it looks like if you did it at 15%. Okay. You're still growing. You still got a lot growing, but you're getting a much bigger monthly reward. Maybe some people say, hey, look, I could take this money and I can put it somewhere else to build a different type of business. Who knows what you want to do with it? Everyone's going to have their different purpose, right? But these numbers start getting bigger. Some people might say, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't need quite 15, but 10. Look at the difference. So you can see when you work with this, you'll be able to see the differences. If I have 15 and I look at, oh, you know what? At the end of 5 years, I got just shy of $350,000. Yeah, I'm getting more a month, but this is not growing that favorably. Maybe I say I need 10. Well, that difference, you've gone from $350,000 to $1 million at the end of 5 years. And I'm at 10%. And this is, oh, wow. You know what? This is my balance. Everyone's balance is going to be different. And then if you go to 5%, so you're going from 10% is giving you $1 million over here, 5%, look at that. See, I like that. That's for me, I like that. I'm going to get my monthly, but wow. I'm well on my generation wealth right here. With just 150, it's more than just 150. I shouldn't say just. That $300 contribution or whatever that number is going to be is going to be relative to the individual that's doing it. That could be max out for some people. Like, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet and do it, but it's going to be tough. Others, it's different. I've got a gentleman says, you know what? He has quite a few Forex wallets. He's just amazed at the success, and he's like, I'm going to stop my 401k payments or whatever is, you know, if he's in a 401k, I call it 401k. I'm just used to pension plans, but he's going to stop his pension plan, and he's gonna make it here. It's 400 a month. Actually, he's going to be able to start. He's got much more running, right? I think he's actually got more than this, but this is where he's at. And then he's just going to add on top of it. He's like, I'm already doing really well, but I'm retiring in 3 years. He already knows it. He says, I've got 3 years, 3 years left. I'm not going to touch anything, and I'm just going to do this. And then, so for him, 3 years, what's 3 years from now? So 3 years from now, let's go down here. We're just going to take it to here. So when he hits his year 4, oh, look, he's going to retire and cash flow 75 grand a month. And he's going to have over $2 million in his balance. Pretty nice retirement for 3 years from now, right? Not too shabby. Makes his contributions. It's okay. Now I'm going to be on. I'm already doing this. Why not do it into Indotech? Why not? All right, everyone. I hope this was helpful for you. There's much more that I can dig into this sheet, but to keep it on time, this is a good starting point from you. Reach out to your leaders if you're interested in some more information about this sheet, and I wish you well tonight. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.